Hello and welcome to PAXTON ROAD TV. This is the preview show for the game Leeds United versus Tottenham Hotspur at ELLAND Road. Kicks off tomorrow, 12:30. In the house, we have special guests, Spurs fans as always. We have Mike Hotspur Hustler at the top, Darius 3K, Deji Spurs, and we're also joined by superstar Johnny Einstein. He's a clever guy, shelf side Spurs. Welcome, everybody. Are we ready for this? How are we doing? Good?
Yeah, all good,
Sam.
mate.
Yeah, good.
All good, all good, all good. Delighted to be back.
Delighted to be back with the Spurs shirt on as well, Deji. That's what we like to see. Jose's gone. Spurs shirt's back out, everybody. So it's a happy, happy house. And as you can tell, we must be all a little bit hyped. Thank you, Arsenal. By the way, thank you, Arsenal, for that yesterday. Like, subscribe, share, comment. Please support our channel, PAXTON ROAD TV. We can't do this without you. So please leave your comments in the comment section below and links in the description for all the channels associated with us. Right then, gentlemen, let's get on with this then. Mr. Ryan Mason, 2 wins in a row. How do you think Ryan Mason is going to go about winning this game? We're going to start with Johnny Einstein. How do you think Mr. Mason's going to go about winning this game, sir?
Well, I saw earlier he can be the first person to win his first 3 games, I think. That was one of the stats I read earlier. So he's teed up to create history as Spurs manager. First 3 games. It's going to be an open game, isn't it? The way Leeds play. They're just nutters, aren't they? They come bombing at you from every angle. It's going to be an open game, space all over the pitch. It's going to be high scoring. It's got to be high scoring.
We're hoping so.
Yeah, I think Ryan Mason, he'll stick with this pretty much similar team to last week. I mean, Aurier got a couple of assists, and Dele Alli, it's not really fair to just chuck him in for 1 game. So I reckon he'll play Dele Alli again. I'm expecting a similar team and high-scoring game, to be honest.
Oh, that's cool. We'll get into the teams a little bit later on, but I'm going to answer the same question. Deji Spurs, welcome back, Deji Spurs. How do you think Mr. Mason's going to go about winning the 3rd game in a row in terms of the Premiership?
I mean, it's very difficult for me because, like Johnny said, Mason's won 2 games in a row and he'll be the first Spurs manager to win 3 games in a row. For me, I just want Ryan Mason to stop playing his mates, okay? This ain't primary school, okay? And I think that what we've got to do is, if he can just play Tanguy and Ndombele, I will absolutely be fine. So far, he's played his best friend, Harry Winks, and then he's played his other best mate, where he shares party bags with, in Dele Alli. Now, I'm not being funny, but both those 2 players do not deserve to start ahead of Tanguy and Ndombele. I think if he starts with Tanguy and he plays everyone else, I think we do Leeds. I think we did him before under Mourinho. I think what Ryan Mason has done is he's playing Gareth Bale. He's released the shackles. Aurier is our best right back, provided he doesn't do his customary trip someone up with 10 minutes to go before the game ends and then causes a goal. But I think Ryan Mason could do it. Ryan Mason could do a job. But if he goes and starts Harry Winks, I'm going to get on the podcast and I'm going to shave my head off, because Harry Winks cannot keep up with the pace of that Leeds midfield. So if he goes Tanguy, we get the win. If he goes Harry Winks, then I would want him out of my club.
You can't run out all the managers out of the club, Deji. Come on now. You've already run one of them out. You didn't wear your top till you was doing all the thing with the black hat. Remember, I don't forget nothing. Remember that. The black hat thing, you did that. You got rid of him. He's now gone. We left him. Right, Darius, I'm going to come to you next, because you might have some information about Tanguy that these guys didn't know. I didn't know until you told me. But yeah, how do you think Ryan's going to win this game?
Yeah, I agree. By the way, Deji, I completely and utterly agree with you. I did not understand, and I still don't understand why Winks starts, but did a little bit of research, and there is video evidence. I will send it to anybody who wants to see it. But he did say in the press conference that Tanguy had a bit of a muscle injury for the week. So I guess, and I don't know how bad it was, because he was still on the bench for the game. So that's why I was kind of a bit confused. But if he did have this muscle injury, and obviously you are going to still want to have Tanguy on the bench even if he's 80%, I guess that's probably why he didn't start. And if that is the case, like he said, if that is true, which I assume is true because he said it in the press conference, then I don't really have a problem with him necessarily not playing Tanguy, but just be honest. You know what I mean? Just come out and say that. It shouldn't take 2 weeks for you to kind of not play the guy and not start him and still have him on the bench for you to kind of. And it wasn't even him who said it. It was a man. It was one of the interviewees who actually asked him the question. So you should have just come out and said it from the start, even during even in the final, and nobody would have had a problem. Honestly, I would have been cool. That's the only thing that I've been kind of angry at Ryan Mason about was that Tanguy thing. So for me, as an interim, I said you play your best players and you clap your hands and you should be able to do a decent job. So for me, apart from that Tanguy thing, it's completely down to Spurs. We've got 2 ways we can approach this game. We can take the approach of Jose and kind of let Leeds pressure us, let them create space for us to exploit, or we can give it to Leeds because they are there to be exploited. And whichever way, I believe that we should win the game. So yeah, I think we should all be confident in this game. It's going to be a tough game, but again, I think Leeds are one of those teams where it's kind of the perfect opposition for us, especially with our strikers and our midfield. We should be able to break lines very easily.
So I was saying to Mike, and Mike was defending Ryan Mason, saying he will play Tanguy, because I was saying that Tanguy wasn't going to play again for the rest of the season. I was thinking that Ryan was playing his mates, but as Darius has come up with some information that looks like it must have been an injury. But Mike, what do you think of the approach tomorrow? How do you think we're going to go about it, given the way that Leeds play?
It's like, I think like Darius just said, it could go one or two ways. I was going to say before we came on stream, I thought maybe we'll just set up the way Mourinho did and catch on the counter, because it did work very well. However, given what I've take the cup final out of the equation, from what I've seen of Mason's Spurs at the moment, I think he'll probably try and take the game to Leeds rather than play the counter-attacking sort of football that we were used to seeing. Well, I say used to seeing at Mourinho. I use that in a loose sense, but
back in November,
yeah, when we were top of the league for a short period of time. But yeah, no, I think we'll probably try and take the game to Leeds, and I actually don't expect to see too many changes in that lineup from the other week. When did we play? Who did we play last? I can't remember.
We played Sheffield United, and we won 4-0.
Sheffield United. How bad is that? I can't remember we played Sheffield United. I don't foresee the team changing too much from the lineup against Sheffield United. I think Bale, Son, Kane. I think the three the double pivot, I think it'll be Lo Celso, who I actually thought played very well against Sheffield United. And I think he works quite well in that double pivot alongside Højbjerg, which if Ndombele's fit, then why can't he start in that number 10 role and see what he can do? Yeah. Whether that happens, I don't know. I think if Ali's fit and if Ndombele's not 100%, then I think we'll probably see Ndombele on the bench. But I'd like to see him at least feature in the game. If he doesn't get any minutes in the game, then yeah, it's questionable.
Well, I'm just going to put up the current league table and the form going into the game. Leeds are currently 11. I'll just take 11th. I'll just take off the banners so we can just see that last part. Any other day of the week, I'd want Leeds to win this game. Then they'd go above them lot. But obviously tomorrow we don't want that to happen. So it's got to be a Spurs win. Gentlemen, I'll come to Deji. If we win this game, but you know, are we still within a little bit of a shout of the whisper it slowly and carefully, top 4?
We might be top 5.
Do you know what, Sam? I have to say, yeah, we are. I think we have to. And I think, you know, we needed to make some radical decisions. Levy, you know, he listened to us and he's done it. And now we can find ourselves, if we win this game, 2 points behind Chelsea. Look, it's been that sort of season that I think, if all things go well, we might even nip Leicester City. So yeah, I think it's a shout. It's a shout. And actually, one of the worst seasons in the last 5 years could actually turn around and be a little bit of a not too bad of a season, given where the scum are in the table, and also the fact that we might be able to take full spot. I think we have to, and I think we've got to believe now. I think for me now, you can see the negativity's gone out the window. I'm all about positivity. Win the next 4 games, Chelsea and Leicester drop points, mate, and we get a Champions League spot, hopefully.
There's a good chance. Johnny Einstein, see the positivity that's going around. Come on now, keep up. What do you think? What's going on tomorrow? Are we going to take these 3 points? Still got a chance of the top 4? Do you think, realistically?
Well, interesting what you said there. If City or Chelsea win the Champions League, does it go down to 5th?
Still not decided,
I'm not sure.
There is some. It's a bit complicated. I don't know if it does now. To be honest with you, it's got to be worked out. There was a report I was reading. I think it's only 5 teams allowed in there, and the permutations where if Man United won the Europa but finished outside, it's a bit complicated. I think it's still top 4. So the 4 who finish in that top 4 will be in the Champions League. So if we get top 4, we're in it, definitely. 5th, Europa at the moment.
Tough ask still, isn't it? If you look at Chelsea, how many points they've got.
Yeah.
Have you got that table up again there, Sam? Is it 4 or 5 points away from them?
I'll get the table up for you.
Yes.
No problems, mate. Just
same games played, isn't it? So that's a problem. Yeah, both played 34. Yeah, it's a tough ask. 5 points still, isn't it? I mean, they might have their mind on the Champions League final. They could drop points. They're very inconsistent, Chelsea, aren't they?
And they do have to play Leicester as well. They've got some tough games coming up with Chelsea. So, you know, they've got a cup final in terms of the FA Cup final and obviously Champions League Cup final. So there's, you know, players might decide potentially to knock off. You never know. They won't want to get injured. But Chelsea have got a deep squad. Darius, do you think we've got a realistic chance, top 4?
You know what? Again, every time we speak about top 4, I have to shout out Mike, the Hotspur hustler, because he's been shouting that we still have a chance this whole time. And me and Deji, if you even try and lie this one, I'm onto you, mate. We had wrote this off from Newcastle. I thought this was done from Newcastle. So I'm happy to say that I was completely wrong, and it's still on now. And I'm just looking at Leicester and Chelsea's results, fixtures come in respectively. Leicester have Newcastle, United, Chelsea in the FA Cup final, Chelsea in the league, and then us. Chelsea have Arsenal, City, then Arsenal, then Leicester in the final, then Leicester again in the league, then Villa as their final game. So you know what? Honest to God, I think Chelsea are going to 100% prioritize the 2 finals that they're in. I think that they will believe that their squad depth is good enough to kind of get them going through that Premier League. So I don't think you're going to probably see their best players start in those games. And you never know what can happen in that. Like I said, if Kepa starts, anything can happen in that goal. And if some of those centre-backs aren't on this, Thiago Silva's not playing. I know they've got a great defence, but you don't know what can happen. And then Leicester as well. Leicester are going to want to win that FA Cup, I believe. I think they will think that they're secured with 63 points. And the thing is, if you win 4 games in a row, and Leicester don't win 4 games in a row, or they even drop points in 2 of the games, they're going to look back and think, wow, they're actually closer to us than we think. So I just think that we can't look at other teams. I think we have to just literally, and it's the most cliche thing in the world, but you just have to win every game that you've got in front of you. And Leicester is one of those games for us. And if we do that, then we can look at the league table, because we're not obviously in control of what happens. We're not in control of our own destiny. So we shouldn't really be looking at the table thinking, oh, what happens if this happens? We should just win our games. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, then we've had a pretty shit season and we don't really deserve to be in the Champions League anyway. So I just think it's just positives to look forward to, in my opinion. If we get it, we'd get it. If we don't, then really and truly, did we deserve it in the first place? So,
given the shackles, I think the shackles have been taken off. The old cliche that gets banded about when a new manager comes in, the old manager goes, the shackles are taken off as such. Mike, this is why he's called a Hotspur hustler, because he sees things that we don't see. He hustled us, and now we've still got a potential chance. So, Mike, I'm coming to you with regards to this. Is it on? Is it on?
It has to be, doesn't it? I mean, let's be honest. Leicester and Chelsea, they've got a tough run in. Both teams have got a tough run in, and those teams will drop points at some point. They will drop points, but like Darius mentions, all we can do is just beat what's in front of us and continue this sort of win streak. I mean, if we drop points, then that's it. I think it's game over. But
done, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Realistically, top 4 would be done if we drop points. But if Mason can get Spurs continuing to win these games that we should really be winning on paper, then yeah, why can't it be on? It's still mathematically possible. So until that point, then let's not give up. And
Let's not.
hopefully Tottenham will think along this, or the players will think along the same lines and be up for it. So
I'm buzzing for it. Like I said, we've got nothing to lose. You know, there's 4 games left.
Nothing.
And they can just go out and play now. Johnny, before I come to you, I just want to play a clip from Ryan Mason's from the press conference he had today. I think it was today. Just regarding how Leeds play, how he expects Leeds, because obviously Leeds with Bielsa's style, very man-marking, man-to-man. I just think now with the energy levels, they might not be able to produce that sort of level for tomorrow's game because they've been doing that all season. But let's just have a listen to what he had to say about how they might come about this game or how they might go about this game.
Listen, they have a very unique way of playing. I'm sure it's exciting for the neutral and for their supporters, but we have to focus on ourselves. Yes, they'll pose certain problems and certain situations that might be different to other teams, but we can't worry too much about them. We're ready. We have an idea of how they're going to play and the problems they might cause, but we'll also cause them problems. And it's important that we focus on that.
Johnny, what problems do you see them causing us tomorrow?
It could end up like that famous Simpsons episode when Homer Simpson's got the boxing match and they're following each other around the ring. Because they both.
Oh
if
my God.
Because if you think about it, Ryan Mason's a disciple of Pochettino and Pochettino's a disciple of Bielsa, isn't he? So they probably play exactly the same way, set the same pressing traps, press in the same area, so they could cancel each other out completely.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting how this game goes because, like I said, if Leeds play like how they did last time, it's going to be a little bit of a goal fest. And these are the results that we've had against Leeds. So the last 5 matches, obviously there's 3 at the top there from a long time ago when Leeds weren't, haven't been in the Premiership for quite a while. But the last game we won 3-0. We're unbeaten them in the last 5. I know it stretches back to 2002. Deji, given that and given the last game that we played when they did try to do this man marking, we just picked them apart. Goals we could have had probably a lot more than that. Do you foresee it being another high-scoring game with Spurs winning by a good margin?
Yeah, look, my score prediction, and you know my caveat, it's not financial advice, but I've got a stand to win.
Hold your score prediction. Remember, hold on.
No,
you always spoil things, man. The score predictions come at the end, and then you can give that. So just talk about how you think the game's going to go. Don't spoil it for the viewers.
No, you're right. Look, sorry about that, but look, I think there will be goals. I think this time round, I can see Leeds scoring. The one thing that's been our Achilles heel the whole season is the fact that our defence is just not up to it. Even Reguilon hasn't been playing well, and I can see Rafinha turning him inside out, tomorrow. So I can see Leeds scoring. They were unlucky. Let's be real. In the 3-0 match, they were unlucky not to score. They should have had at least 2 goals in that game. So look, I can see goals because their keeper, who I call Billy Elliott, he's not great. He's not a great keeper, and I think Kane. Kane, Bale, I can see them scoring for fun. So definitely it's going to be lots of goals. I see Leeds scoring, but I see us scoring more, and it's as simple as.
Yeah. Okay, Mike. 3-0 the last time. As I said, I'm expecting it to be a lot of goals in it. I'm not going to give my score yet, but again, it's the way that Leeds play. They really are so open. It's very good to watch, but it does mean that they're very, as I said, susceptible to counter-attacks. They really throw their fullbacks forward. Calvin Phillips, he's probably the only defensive-minded type player I think they've got apart from their defenders. So again, what are you expecting to see tomorrow from Leeds, really?
I don't think we'll see anything different to what we expect. I think they always have that naivety about them where they are probably a bit too gung-ho. And I think it'd be similar to the first game in terms of Leeds' approach to it. I think they'll try and attack us. I was just trying to look online to see if Bamford and etc. Rafinha and all that are playing, but I honestly think that if Spurs do turn up and want to win the game, I think we'll pick them apart like we did the last game.
I think so. I think with the way that Leeds played, it's very high octane way of playing. It's very, very much energy sapping. And to play a whole season like that, you have to have some real energy levels. Now, I don't think they can do it. The results have proved that it's impossible to kind of keep that level up.
Yeah.
It's either win or lose in there. They don't really draw a lot, and it's very they either win big or they lose big. So I think it's going to be something in the middle of that tomorrow. Darius, again, do you see Leeds' approach being any different? Is it just going to be this gung-ho style?
Yeah, I just, like you said, I think it's going to be more just a lesser version of it, just solely down to fatigue from the season. I think in terms of this game, like I said, it's more important on what we do. I think Tottenham, when you look at it, have to, well, no, for every team that plays Leeds, I think you either have to kind of have a structured defense and sort of ordered counterattacks to kind of exploit them very, very well. Sort of how Jose is a master of counterattack. He sets up a counter, and I'll give him credit for that. Some of the counters that I was seeing from Spurs at the start of the season was electric. It was just few passes. It was into the back, into the final third. So you either do that or you have to match Leeds' intensity, particularly in the middle of the pitch. I mean, when you look at their midfielders, you got Stuart Dallas and Matthias Klick and Calvin Phillips. Those guys are never stopping running. And I worry with players, even like Tanguy, like you kind of have to match that energy. Otherwise they will just outrun you. So I think that the personnel is important, but what that personnel does on the pitch is more important. I don't really care who's on the pitch. You just have to put in 100% because Leeds are going to put in 100%. And if you don't, they will outrun you, and they could outscore you because they do have good players. And like, I think you make a good point about Rafinha. Reguilon in the current form that he's in against Rafinha it worries me. So there's still things to worry about, but we've all made the point that the quality of the players on our pitch and the naivety that Leeds are going to pretty much, we know, are going to produce and show. We kind of just have to make sure that we take our chances. Kane's on his form because he didn't have a great. Oh, Phillips is injured. I've just seen a comment that Phillips is injured, so that's
and Rafinha as well.
Rafinha as well. Yeah,
he's beautiful.
Well, wow. On the news, they're saying that they're just coming back from injury, so that they're technically fit, but whether they actually start, I think that's probably a different question. Well,
that's just a quality difference, isn't it? I think the players will still do the players that replace them will still do the same job, and they'll still be running at the same level. So I think that only makes me feel more rest assured that the quality of those players doing that might be a little bit lesser, but still, it's not going to change the fact that every single one of those Leeds players are gonna try their hardest. So the Spurs players either need to be defensively compact and very rigid and plan their counters properly, which I don't really expect Mason to do, or they just need to go for it.
If I'm honest with you, Leeds is probably one of the easiest teams to plan and prepare for because they don't change. The only thing that will change is the personnel on the pitch and potentially the levels of their pressing. They'll still try and do the same thing. I just don't think they can continue to do that at the same level they were doing. And if we play the ball, keep good possession, space them out, use the width, you make the pitch big. I can't see anything other than a Spurs win. In terms of the team selection, I'm going to come with the previous lineup that played against Sheffield United. Then I'm going to put up Sam's predicted lineup, and then you guys can pick that apart. Tell me what you think. So this is who played previously against Sheffield. Lloris in goal, Aurier, Alderweireld, Dyer, Reguilon. It seems like that's going to probably be a settled back four. Then we had Hojbjerg, Lo Celso, Dele Alli in the 10, Bale starting on the right, Kane and Son. This is what I've predicted for tomorrow. Now, it is a different graphic, but there isn't going to be a lot of change in it. I've put in Ndombele in that 10 because, as I said, if he didn't play and he was fit, I was like, the guy's gone. So if he's fit, I have no reason to think that Mr. Mason shouldn't play him ahead of Dele Alli. I don't think Dele Alli played tremendous in the last game, but he was giving it a go. Johnny Einstein, any changes do you think in this team lineup, or what would you see as a starting lineup?
But the same comments when he was talking about Ndombele, he said that Lucas had just come back with a muscle injury as well. So if he wanted to completely cop out, he could just play Dele Alli again and then bring Ndombele and Lucas off the bench, didn't he? I'm just inclined to think he'll play the same 11, to be honest. It's not fair to just chuck Dele in for one game and expect him to pull up trees and then take him out again straight away. So I think he'll go same 11. I'd like to see your 11, to be honest, Sam, but I think he'll go with Dele again.
That's the level I want to see. I want to see Ndombele because, like I said, I think he's a genius on the football pitch. Deji, any changes that you think, or do you think Ryan Mason's going to be safe?
Well, I'd like to give you the Spurs job, to be honest with you, based on this. Look, I think the lineup that you've put forward is very much the right one. I'm still indifferent about Eric Dyer, to be honest with you. I just think with the pace with Leeds. Bamford's quite a clever striker. I'm trying to think, is it a role for Rondon? I think, you know, a little bit of pace. He seems quite comfortable. I know he's inexperienced, but maybe a Rondon there, maybe. But apart from that, I think you're bang on. Bell has to start. He's just quality, isn't he? And Kane and Son, you know what they're going to do. But yeah, I'm just Eric Dyer. I can see him starting him, but, you know, is there a shout for Rodon? Is my only thought.
I think, you know what, there is a shout, but I just think, you know, this continuity thing, we haven't really had it, and I just think with the guys having 1-2 Premier League games, having played that, I don't see any changes. Mike, what's your thoughts on that starting 11?
Yeah.
Oh, Mike's
he's gone.
Headphones. Darius, I'll come to you then.
He's back.
Am I? Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you've gone. That's all right. Go on.
I think he'll go with the exact same 11 as he did against Sheffield United. There is a shout for Rondon, or Rodon, should I say. But I think, as you mentioned, the continuity with that settled back four is quite important in the last few games that we've got. And I think, as Johnny mentioned, I can't see him doing anything but playing Ali, especially. I mean, Ali didn't have a bad game. He's a bit rusty, but his effort levels were there. And so I think, I think he'll just go for the same 11 as he did against Sheffield United. Why would you change a winning team? Arguably, I mean, they won 4-0 comfortably. So why change something that doesn't need?
Yeah, there is that argument. I just think sometimes with certain teams, you know, the expectation is, I think, because Leeds I expect them to press, you need someone to break the press. Now, Ndombele, I think, is the best player in our squad to do that. Receive the ball on the half turn, beat that one man, and then you're in. If you can do that against Leeds every single time, we will always be in. So it's having that player or players that are able to beat the first press and then play that next pass. So this is why I would like to see him start. I hope he comes on. Go on,
if he's come back from an injury, a muscle injury, the last thing you're going to want as a manager is he's going to be having to do a lot of running against this Leeds team, and it probably isn't the right game for him to start just coming back from such an injury. So if anything, I think he'd come on when the legs of the Leeds are a little bit more tired, and then Ndombele would be able to sort of exert his dominance on that field. So yeah, I personally wouldn't. I wouldn't start him.
Based on that assessment, that means Wink starts.
Yeah.
Oh, don't say that.
Just on a lot to start show this again, just quickly again. Darius, any changes, any thoughts on this that you think may be different? As I said, we've talked about the Delhi one, so that Delhi for Ndombele, I think is going to possibly be the change, but everything else I think will be the same.
Yeah.
Darius, mute. I think you're on mute.
Sorry. I think everybody made points that I was gonna make about Dyer. Again, I think we've been asking for consistency in the back four, so I don't have a problem with the same back four starting while it's working. I think that comment made a lot of sense. If it's not broke, don't fix it. They've kept clean sheets, so let's keep going. For the future, I would want to see Rodon replace Dyer in that position, and also I'd want to see somebody come in for maybe that Toby replacement as well. But yeah, and then also Ndombele. I think that Ndombele would be the perfect player for a game like this, solely and specifically because it's Leeds as well, because they don't really set pressing traps in the sense of it's like a team pressing. They sort of they do go individually, and if you do break that press individually, there is so much space to be exploited, especially if you're in the 10 as well. I mean, if Calvin Phillips or whoever's playing in that defensive midfield place is their mission is to stop Ndombele and they get beaten, then there's only one more line of defense to kind of beat. So yeah, I think him coming off the bench will be quite significant, and it could result in us really dominating the game. But yeah, I think that really and truly, I'll keep saying it's on to us. It's down to us. We need to make the most of this game by matching the energy and taking our chances almost.
Here's a question for you. Can you think of anyone who's better at breaking the press in the whole world than Ndombele? I was just thinking in my head there. Can't think of anyone.
That guy's incredible when he gets that ball. Incredible. And this is what I'm saying. He's really got to play in all. Well, we'll see how the game goes. But yeah, just this last comment here from Nitesh, the crazy gooner. Thank you for watching, by the way, Nitesh. Thoughts on Bergwijn? Does he think he's going to get a sniff over the next couple of weeks?
I think he needs to wait for the next manager, personally.
All right. Well,
I think Mason's not taking risks, is he? He doesn't really seem like he's taking risks.
I think you'll see him as he did against Sheffield United, coming on as a sub. I think that is the way for him to come back, is come on as a sub, impress, do what.
Got the assist as well, didn't he?
Yeah, and he did get the assist. So he's just got to carry on doing what he's doing, i.e., coming on from the sub bench, pressing, and then hopefully, for him, he'll get the start that he's probably craving for. But
Let's see what happens tomorrow. Favorite part of the show. This is the best part of the show, and it is score prediction. We'll start with our special guest, Johnny Einstein. What do you think the score's going to be tomorrow?
High scoring game. I'm thinking 5-4. 5-4.
Johnny, you're my guy, Johnny.
Johnny,
I like that.
He's going all out. He's going 5-4. If that happens, I'll be very, very excited to see that game.
I haven't said which way it's going to go yet, but I don't think. Yeah, 5-4 to the mighty Spurs. Couple for Kane, couple for Bale and Sonny.
Like that one. Like that one a lot.
Get down the bookies now.
Get down. Deji doesn't offer financial advice, so I wouldn't do not necessarily listen to that because it's not financial advice. I'm not stealing Deji's thunder, but I love that saying. Deji, come to you next, mate.
Yes. Well, I'm going to go with 4-2 Spurs. I can see Kane getting 2, Bale and Son on the score sheet. And I can even give you the goal scorers for Leeds, not financial advice. Is Patrick Bamford's going to get 1. And Stuart Dallas is going to get on the score sheet. Now, if you stick a tenner on that, that's like 2,500 to 1. I'm just saying.
It kills me.
He does.
It kills me every time without fail.
2,500 to 1. It sounds like Leicester odds. That
The thing is, we're all thinking, oh yeah, actually, let's just go and stick a tenner on it.
I'm writing these shit down. I'm telling you, Darius. Score prediction, mate.
Well, Deji's got his saying about he only offers financial advice, or he doesn't offer financial advice. My saying is Spurs don't keep clean sheets, and if you predict a clean sheet, you're stupid. So I'm gonna have to go.
Even though we won the last game 4-0, Darius, don't forget that.
I predicted a clean sheet against a team that literally has Joe Linton up front, and we conceded 24 shots to them. So after that game, I don't predict clean sheets. I can't trust my team, unfortunately. But I didn't say we're going to lose. I think we'll win. I think it will be... The scoreline will be comfortable, but the actual game won't be comfortable because I don't think any Leeds game is really comfortable. No person likes a team pressing you for 90 minutes. So 3-1. I think Bale's going to carry on his form. You know, I think he's gonna score maybe 1 or 2. And I want Kane to become top scorer and top assister this season because I think he deserves to be. I think he's been the best player this season out of most players in the league, apart from maybe a couple City players. So yeah, 3-1 Spurs. Sorry for taking your prediction if that was yours.
See the thing when you go last with predictions and someone says your one, it makes out that you're copying them. And
I wasn't expecting 5-4s and 4-2s though. Like I was just thinking, oh, everyone's gonna say 3-1.
Come on, man. I was gonna be a 3-1. Anyway, I'm still going 3-1. As I do agree, I think we struggled to keep clean sheets, although we did have one in the last game. Leeds, because of the way they play, I expect them to have chances and create chances, but I think Spurs will have the better chances, the more clinical finishes in our team with Son, Kane, Bale at the moment on fire. Well, say on fire. Bale's definitely on fire. Son scored a great goal, and Harry Kane's Harry Kane. So I expect him to do the business tomorrow. I think potentially at least 2 of them will score tomorrow. So I'm going 3-1, Harry Kane brace, and Bale to nick another one again. That is the show, gentlemen. That is the show.
Wait. Can we get Hotspur Hustlers predictions?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
I just wanted to say before you do that as well. Gareth Bale has got a goal involvement every 66 minutes this season, and I think that is absolutely ridiculous. And I was completely wrong about Gareth Bale. I'd have him back next season. That's all I wanted to say.
You'd have him back next season.
Again, you can have that one. You're 2-0 on me, mate. I'll have him back again. You can have it. I'll give you that.
Look at the smile on Hustler's face. Look at the smile on Hustler's face. You know when he knows shit. Go on, Deji. Sorry.
We wouldn't be seeing this if this was under Jose. I'm just sticking.
Yeah, no, true.
Jose had to go for us to see, the real quality in Gareth Bale and the shackles being released. So
we have
a little caveat there.
We have you to thank for that.
That's true. Very true.
That whole Jose out thing is nothing but down to you, Deji.
Very true.
That is purely. I think that went viral. I reckon Daniel Levy was watching, and yeah, he definitely took notice of those comments there from Deji. When he says we're going viral, 9 times out of 10 it's going viral. So yeah. But my prediction.
Go on then.
Is 2-0 Spurs.
2-0. Any scorers? Any
Yeah.
scorers in that?
Kane brace.
Kane brace. I think I see Kane scoring 2 goals tomorrow. I think he's due a couple of goals.
Yeah,
he wants to win that golden boot. So with that in mind, I can see Harry Kane doing one, getting a brace in, Gareth Bale nicking one as well. They might pop up with a Patrick Bamford one. 3-1 in my opinion. We're going through the scores. So Johnny said 5-4. Deji said 4-2. Darius 3-1. Sam 3-1. Hotspur Hustler 2-0. If you're out there watching, you might want to go and put a cheeky 10 on one of them scores because I think one of them might come in. I don't know which one's the longest odds, but I'm sure a Spurs win. Here we go. Mr. Silver Fox is watching. Mike, he wants you to say it with your chest. He's not convinced. I'll say it for you. I'm saying it for you. 3-1 Spurs. Say that. Say something. Say something. All right then. Okay. Being an Arsenal fan, he wants a 3-3-4 from the Crazy Gooner. Right, that is definitely it now, gentlemen. Johnny English, where can people find you? Because you're our guest on here.
We run a podcast every Thursday night at 7 o'clock called Shelfside Spurs. So that's on YouTube. And on Twitter, I'm under Shelfside Spurs as well.
Brilliant.
Wicked.
Good stuff. These Tottenham away lads are brilliant as well. So tomorrow, 12:30, our weekend begins. Like, subscribe, share, comment. We will be. Oh, there's a game on tonight, isn't there? There is a game on tonight. Anyway, look out for the kickoff. Deji Spurs will be doing that later on. I think that's at 8:30. You know, that's financial advice. We'll be giving again in that. He'll be joined by some other Arsenal people, and I'm sure he'll be doing his best to make them happy. Just make sure the show is a good one. I know it always is, but just be careful with Brezzy. He's a little bit delicate at the moment. So anyway, thank you very much all for watching. Like, subscribe, share, comment. We'll see you all soon.